Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my most recent video game pickups. That's right, another episode of Rebuilding the Game Wall. This is for the end of the month of May and maybe the first week of June. It's quite a crazy one. There's a lot of stuff that I picked up this month, and I'm definitely going to have to take a break next month. But yeah, let's get to it. So, thanks for joining me once again. You know what time it is. It's time to
get ready.
Alright, so we got quite a number of things today. We got some from eBay, some claim sales, and a lot of stuff from eBay actually, and also the video game store in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. It was an impromptu trip. My wife wanted to go check out a library, and it was in the general area, so I was like, you know what, let me go check out the video game store, make the trip worth it. With gas prices being as ridiculous as they are, I had to do it. So anyways, first let's take a look at what I got from claim sales. Alright, so starting off with the RetroGamingZone. One of my good buddies on Instagram who I've picked up games from before. Let's take a look and see what we got. We only got 3 things from him, and there are games that I owned in the past, but unfortunately didn't own anymore. Now I have them again. So first off, we have WWF Attitude on the PlayStation 1. Now I had this on the Dreamcast. Only reason why I bought it for the PlayStation 1 is because that's the version that I played growing up. And I don't need to worry about how the Dreamcast version doesn't support VGA. So I'm able to play that whenever I want. Granted, it's a crappy wrestling game, so I don't want to play it that much. Next up, we have Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Snake Eater being my favorite game of the Metal Gear series, and well, this is the copies of that I owned back in the days, and it's actually quite funny. You know how in the menu for Metal Gear Solid 2, the X and O button are reversed because it's based off how the Japanese do it, where O is confirm and X is to cancel out. So when my father brought Metal Gear Solid 2 home from GameStop one day, I think he bought it pre-owned or something, he couldn't get past the main menu and he was so pissed off and confused. And I was like, this is weird. But then I just, we got through it as I pressed circle when he had to be the controller. So yeah, Pops, that was quite funny. So these are both complete in their box and in pristine shape. There are better ways to play these 2 games. Obviously, the HD collection is a fantastic re-release of these games, a great remaster. So if you do get the chance, play it on those. But I wanted to own them physically on the PS2, the OG versions, and maybe I'll get Subsistence at some point. Alright, so that's it for the Retro Gaming Zone. Once again, check out his Instagram. It'll be in the link down below. The same guy that I got the Sega Saturn from, if you remember that video. Okay, next up, more claim sales, this time from keishaboysgames. We talked about him in the last Rebuilding the Game Wall, and we're here to talk about him again today. Once again, check out his Instagram for more claim sales. It's like every week this guy puts up a claim sale and there's always something that I want from it. In this case, it came in the form of some games that I've owned in the past and don't own anymore, or games that I've always wanted to own. So in this case, there are 3 Super Nintendo games here that I picked up from him, and there's a problem being that I don't have a Super Nintendo at the moment. I've been so focused on getting Sega consoles that I don't have the one system that was like my favorite growing up. That being said, I picked up Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Super Nintendo. This is a game I definitely want to do a video on in the future. Toy Story for the Super Nintendo, another one of my favorites. I think that was the first game that I actually rage quit as a kid, as a young, fuck how old I was. I was like probably 7, 8 years old. Anyways, and Super Mario World, because you can't have a Super Nintendo collection without Super Mario World. Okay, what else did we get from him? We picked up Excitebots on the Nintendo Wii. The Wii is an easy system to collect for, okay? And there are a lot of great games that I did own in the past or always wanted to own that I'm currently buying up again. Excitebots was one of those games that I never actually owned. I did play it and I did enjoy it. And going back to it now, it's still fun, but god damn, I hate the Wii. I hate using the Wiimote, man. That thing is such a buzzkill. Star Wars The Force Unleashed and Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Both great games. I played through most of the first game and I never got around to owning the sequel. So now that I have them both, I can get on that. Anyways, yes, The Force Unleashed 1 and Force Unleashed 2. Next up we have Gun on the 360. Now this is a game I actually borrowed from I think my brother-in-law at the time, and this was like my Red Dead before Red Dead was a thing. I mean, Red Dead Revolver I think predates this one, but you know, Red Dead Redemption was where it's at. This game came out before Red Dead Redemption. It was a launch title for the 360. It's a port of the original Xbox version, and it definitely shows its age. However, it's still a great game, and the voice cast in here is legendary. Definitely check it out if you're into Wild Western games. You can't go wrong with Gun because it's a fantastic title. Next up, Heavenly Sword. I remember going to Toys R Us in Yonkers one time to pick this one up, and they were having like a buy two get one free deal at the Toys R Us there, and I was like, you know what? There's not a lot of games here that I actually do want. You know, they didn't have the ones I was looking for in stock, but this was one of the ones that I really wanted to get. And I really did enjoy it. I wish they made a sequel to it. Unfortunately, it never did. However, I'm happy to own it once again in my collection. Assassin's Creed. Now, if you know me by now, you know that I can't stand the Assassin's Creed games. I just can't. This one was free. There's always like a free claim. Whoever gets to it first gets it, but you have to claim something from the previous post that he's done for the day. And that's exactly what I did. And the reason why I claimed it, even though I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, is because this was the only one that I remember playing through. But the best thing I can remember from Assassin's Creed 1 was Jade Raymond. So, let's move on. Next up, in terms of purchases from the video game store in Wilkes-Barre, PA. Like I said, this was on the fly. Was not expecting to get much, if anything at all. But I kind of did. And I don't regret it one bit. So, let's see what we got. First off, we got some Sega Genesis games. That's right. If you haven't seen my recent video of me picking up the Sega Genesis in 2022, that video is available to check out. It'll be popping up on the top right hand corner of your screen. And let's see what games I picked up. I picked up Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. This one was only, I think, $8. Yeah, this one was $8. It didn't come with this case. I didn't really care because, well, we'll get back to this one later. I also picked up Alien 3 for the Sega Genesis. I'm so happy to actually own this complete in its case. The manual has seen better days. However, I don't really care. It's an older Sega Genesis game. It's coming in its box with the cover art and everything else. And that's all that really matters to me. This was $25. And then this one I just kind of saw. It didn't have the cover art. However, I did print out my own custom cover art for Space Harrier 2. Recently playing Shenmue, I really got into the U Arcade and enjoyed the hell out of Space Harrier. It's definitely one of those games that kicks my ass, but it's just very addicting in a way. And I love Space Harrier now. So I definitely wanted to pick up the Sega Genesis sequel that came out for Space Harrier 2. It's right there. It's not as good as the original, trust me. I do want to get the Saturn version of the original, but there it is. Another Sega Genesis game, complete in its box, now that I actually printed out a cover art for it. Next up, this was in the bargain bin for only $4, Duke Nukem Forever. Another one of those games that I owned in the past that I didn't save this one from the fire for obvious reasons, because the game isn't that great, but it's a 3D Realms first-person shooter. I kind of wanted to have it just to have it again. So yeah, like rebuilding the game wall. That's what we're all about here on this channel. Next up we have Killzone 3. almost got Killzone 2. Unfortunately, since it was in the bargain bin close to the door, the case was empty. I could have gotten Killzone 2 if only somebody didn't steal it. So I didn't get Killzone 2, but I did get Killzone 3. It was only $4, and that's complete in its case. And you can't go wrong with the Killzone series. They're great games, especially the first 3. Well, part 2 and 3. I have part 1. I just never got around to, making a video for that. And next up we have Siphon Filter for the PlayStation 1. This game I have so many memories with Siphon Filter. I mean, the goddarn main menu theme is my freaking intro theme. And it has been on my old channel, and I brought it back with the new intro because I love that theme so much. It just slaps, like seriously. So I picked it up, one of the games that I used to own that I finally own again. The game is currently kicking my ass. I'm currently in a stealth mission right now where I have to like follow this dude, and whoever's played Siphon Filter, you know which mission I'm talking about. It's in the museum. It's goddamn awful. I want to strangle somebody because I can't do it, but I will eventually. And last but not least, this one my wife talked me into getting, and it was more for her because she owned it originally. This is the original Black Label version of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Granted, it does have the Greatest Hits Edition disc. That's not a big deal to me. I really don't care about that. It was more about the case itself, and it comes with the manual. And because of this, it was $18, which is around the going rate for this version of the game, at least cover art wise. And I ended up going on eBay, hunting down the other 2 games, Sly Cooper 2 and 3, in their black labels, complete in box, and ended up getting them as well. They're not going to be in this video, probably the next Rebuilding the Game Wall episode. Unnecessary to me, considering I have the Sly Cooper collection already for the PS3, but this was more nostalgia for her, so by all means, I'm going to feed it, especially if it feeds my game wall. So, good job, babe.
Duh.
$18 freaking for a PS2 game? God damn. It's not even the right disc. I should have been like, got the original disc for this one? eBay. I gotta clear this area. Okay, with eBay, I kind of went crazy, but with all due respect, I'm on vacation, so I kind of allowed myself to. But that being said, there are a few games here that I picked up on eBay. And let's start off with the first one on the Super Nintendo, Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a frickin' sports game. Why the hell are you talking about sports games at the CES Arcade? Well, back up a minute. I don't buy sports games. I can't stand them, really, honestly. This one, however, was my very first baseball game at the time. We were big New York Yankees fans growing up, and me and my father played the hell out of this one. And it was more of a nostalgic thing. It's still one of the better MLB games that I've ever played, and hopefully one day I can get a video with me and him playing on it again. So yeah, Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball. Alright, moving on. No more sports games. I picked up Kirby Planet Robobot. And Kirby Planet Robobot was a game that came out of the blue. I picked up Triple Deluxe, but I never finished it, and thus I never picked up Planet Robobot. This game is going for ridiculous prices now. However, I managed to find it brand new, factory sealed on eBay. Only difference is that it's the Forever World Edition. I forget what they're called. Anyways, it's just a little label there that separates it from the North American version, but it's still the North American version. I mean, it's got the ESRB on it. This was just made more available to other countries, and that's fine and dandy. It's the same damn thing. I don't really give a shit. It's complete. Well, as complete as it can be. The game is in my 3DS right now. There was no manual released because this was around the time that Nintendo said manuals are evil. We're not going to have no more. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. However, I picked it up anyways because 3DS games are starting to become very pricey. So I'm trying to get the ones that I really do need physically before the eShop closes down. Moving on, I picked up Smash Brothers Brawl. I think I talked about this in one of my previous videos when I picked up Smash Bros. Wii U from the claim sales. I haven't owned a physical copy of Brawl for a long time, and now I finally do. Complete in its case. You know, I really do love Brawl. Brawl, I spent so many hours in playing the Subspace Emissary. Playing online with friends wasn't ideal because of all the lag, but my god, I was blown away with the game's graphics at the time, and the character models upgraded from Melee. That being said, going back to it now, holy crap is it slow. I understand why a lot of people say this is probably the worst one because of the speed alone. I talked about this in my Genesis video. This is the way I was able to capture footage for it. I picked it up complete in its box because the game meant so much to me. It's in tip-top shape. I love it when they throw in the little bubble wrap to control the game from falling out. I mean, it's not really going to get out, but still cool to have another physical Sega Genesis game. And that's why I picked up the Rampage Edition, because it's like the sequel to it, and I didn't really need the case with the Rampage Edition anyways, so yeah. Next up, we have another PlayStation 1 classic, so I ended up hunting down a complete in case, great shape, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. And now that I'm actually playing through it, I'm like, wow, this is a great sequel, and I can see why it's a lot of people's favorite, and compared to the first and third games in the series. And I just love the cover art for this one. I mean, look at this. It's got that nice foil, fiery look to it, and I want to hunt them all down now. So the next three games are all holy grails, kind of, sort of, yeah. Alien Trilogy on the Sega Saturn. This game goes for ridiculous prices, and I already owned it on the PlayStation 1, so why did I need the Saturn version? It was more of a curiosity kind of thing. Now, I could have imported it from Japan for around $30-something. However, I won an auction for this and got it for half the price of what it usually goes for. Complete in its box. Long box, might I add. The Saturn version is like neck and neck with the PlayStation 1 version. And that's not something you see very often with PlayStation 2 Saturn ports. It like eclipses the PlayStation 1 in certain ways. Like, I know the door opening sound effect sounds like the movie compared to the PlayStation 1 edition, which is kind of weird. But there it is. Stands neck and neck with the PS1 version, and so far I'm enjoying it. Definitely a game I'm capturing footage for to make a video on in the future. A lot of videos planned for the future, but not enough time. Next up, we have Sonic 3D Blast. This was another one of those complete in-box games that I needed to get on the Sega Saturn. I could have imported it, but I believe the import prices for this are worse than the actual North American version. And the North American version isn't that, you know, cheap either. But I got it for a great price, won it at the last second, bid sniped this son bitch, and I got it. And now that I have it on the Saturn, I can't wait to actually play it. And last but not least, the PS1 edition of Primal Rage, complete in its long box, are insane. And I managed to get it for a great price, all things considered. And what kills me about this is that it's in pristine condition. Absolutely pristine condition. It's one of the glossy cardboard PlayStation 1 boxes that were a little weird in a way, but thankfully the seller put this paper bag, plastic bag in there to protect the manual, the inserts. Oh my gosh, they're alive. The manual is in pristine shape. I mean, my wife and I were looking at this one and we're like, holy hell, this guy took care of this. And look at the game right there. So if you're seeing gameplay footage of it right now, then you know it works. Because I haven't yet tested it as of this recording, because I just got it like a couple of days ago. But I will get to it. And that's pretty much it for this episode of my recent game pickups from May 2022. Lots of games that I was really looking forward to owning once again and rebuilding the game wall with. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this video was fun and enjoyable for you all. Don't forget to support the channel any which way you can. If you do enjoy videos like this, I shouldn't have to explain it to all of you. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all very soon.